Welcome again to one of our YouTube videos. We're in November, almost Thanksgiving, and trying to catch a little bit of the last winter's sunlight here before it all goes down. Sorry about the traffic noise in the back, but it's the best we can do. But I wanted to show you some daggers here. I happen to have a couple of really great pieces in stock, and it's a shame to let them go without you having a chance to see them first, because there's some great stuff here. The first piece that I want to show you is a fantastic hand-forged Damascus blade that was produced by the Frederikus company. It's a very, very beautiful blade, as you can see. And what's really interesting about this blade is that it's done in the Turkish pattern. Turkish Damascus was by far the most expensive that was produced in Zolligan. This particular blade was not made by Paul Mueller, who I used to think was the only one that could make Turkish. In this case, it's made by Paul Dinger. Dinger, of course, was the Damas smith that also made the Hermann Goering wedding sword, and he made quite a few of these Damascus blades, not only for Frederikus but also for Tiger, which I'll show you in a minute because we have a Tiger blade here too. This blade probably would have taken, probably a month to produce. It was hand forged of many layers of steel, hammered and folded and worked to form a pattern which was brought out through an acid etch process at the end. Blades of this caliber are much sought after by collectors, and in my mind I think that if you're looking for something as a future investment, it'll do a lot better than a 401k, because these things don't go down in value. This piece at the current time is worth approximately $20,000. I'm going to show you the next piece. This blade is also Damascus, and it's made by Paul Dinger. But one of the great things about it, it has a maidenhair pattern that's combined with a large roses pattern. If you look very closely, you'll see that spaced out, there's a large rose running all the way down the blade, and it runs on both sides. I'm going to turn it over here and you'll see the other side, and the great tiger marking there. See the cat walking down the center of the blade? Absolutely gorgeous. This is the first example that I've seen by Dinger that combined these two etch patterns. I've seen him do work where he combines band Damascus with maidenhair, but this is the first one I've seen with large roses, although I understand that there are some others that exist, because my good friend Jason Burmeister has one that has the large roses. I just want to show you something while we're talking about true Damascus here. I'll show you the blade next to it. This example is a second model Luftwaffe, and at first glance it looks like Damascus, but it's an artificial etched pattern. In other words, the entire pattern was made with acid. And the way you can tell the difference between real Damascus and artificial is that on real Damascus, the pattern never exactly repeats itself. It's always at random, whereas if you look at an artificial piece, the same pattern continues throughout the blade. And another way you can tell too is that artificial is much rougher than the real thing. In fact, you could almost file your fingernails on the rougher pattern because it's made with acid. This particular blade was produced by the Krebs firm. It's the Peter Dan Krebs as opposed to the Carl Julius Krebs, and they use the trademark of a lobster. An extremely beautiful thing also. The artificial daggers sell in the area of about $8,000 to $10,000. I think that when everybody starts collecting, you'll think, oh, I'll never be able to afford one of these really rare Damascus pieces. But you never know. When I first started out, I was thrilled when I found just an Army dagger or a Luftwaffe dagger or an SA dagger. But as you get moving along in the hobby, you have to get your priorities in order and maybe curtail a vacation now and again and try to convince your wife that this is a good thing, because it is, believe me, and it's worth it if you can save up the money and buy something like this. It's better to have one wonderful dagger than it is 30 or 40 not so good things. At least that's my opinion. And I must tell you too, it gives you a great feeling. You never get tired of looking at these blades. Every time you take one out, it'll make you smile. They're really, really beautiful, and they're truly works of art of the highest craftsmanship. I know they're making Damascus today, but somehow it just doesn't seem to equal the beauty and the quality of what we see on the period things. Third Reich daggers are very difficult to find with Damascus blades, and with new people coming into the hobby all the time, there's only a certain amount of the blades that exist, and it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to go up in value just like they have continually over the years. So it's a great time to make an investment in something like this, and I know you'll be very happy when it's all over. When it's time to retire, you can cash these in. Anybody can sell them for you in a heartbeat, because there's a lot of guys out there who would like to have one. Good collecting, collectors.